Alright, I'm going to show you guys how I make a track from, well, this is already pre-made. I was just going to use this as a reference. I think it's a good one. And I just take I take samples from movies. I'm not going to go into too much detail about how to use different programs and stuff, but I'll take like the one from Batman, this one. I think you all know this sound. But I'll use it like so far in the background that you won't even really tell where it's from. I mean, those people with a good ear would be like, okay, I know exactly where that sound is from, or I've heard that before, but I can't put my finger on it. So yeah, I'll just take that, and then I'll use like rain and thunder sounds, because it gives it that like atmosphere effect. I like to use intros too for a lot of my music. I think a song is like telling a story, and I think using all that will help, I guess, the song build up and build into that climax, build into the whole story. It's better not to just have like a lot of the new trap songs and dubstep songs are all just like, bam, there's the song, bam, same loop over like 10 minutes or 3 minutes of just the same thing. But it sounds good, but it's not like telling a story. I think a lot of new songs have lost that aspect almost. But anyways, I try and incorporate like old school stuff with all the new school stuff. So I'll use all the latest programs like Massive, Nexus, Cube. What is it? I use just a bunch, like Silent, Toxic Biohazard, FM8, Rapture is a good one. I already said Massive. Absinthe is just amazing for that atmospheric stuff. Zeta is really good. So anyways, I'll get back to this track. So this is the intro for it.
I can feel it.
There's some wolves howling, so it feels like you're almost in a forest right now. And there's just someone in that forest pulling the strings. Really just picture a movie with this.
Don't scream. Don't move.
So here's some other sound effects. Got car alarms. Got some thunder. It's got some reverb on it. Got an eagle screeching. I just got this like movie sample, so not that one.
Ah, the doctor is in. Don't scream. Don't move. I will be with you until the end.
It's kind of like a movie. So I've got hits. These are just like really low frequency hits. And these are backwards sub bass lines. Like boom, boom. This is to tie the whole track. Just those little fine little touches you put on there makes the world of a difference. course, I have pre-made drums. I've got, what else do I got in here? I think this is a massive. Yeah, this is massive. So I'd go down here. This is just basically a bass line repeating, and I like to use G's and D's with bass lines. I don't know why. It just goes well with the whole, like, especially for drum and bass and dubstep. I mean, that's like a song on its own, and then when you add like a bass, like a kick, and see, I like, this is what a lot of tracks missing these days. They don't have this atmosphere, like this. It just kind of sucks you into the whole song. That
jam the nightclub, rock the disco. Jam the nightclub. Jam the nightclub, rock the disco. 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 Jam the nightclub, disco. Jam the nightclub, disco. Jam the nightclub, disco. Disco. Jam the nightclub, rock the disco. Disco. Jam the nightclub, jam.
The doctor is in.
And this sample is from Terminator 2. It's when he's shooting the cars. I don't know, I just like to grab samples from movies. That's the best thing to do. You just sit down, and if you're just watching a movie, I'll just, like, in the theater or just watching it by yourself or with your friends, sometimes I sit there and I'm just like, oh man, that just 3 seconds of that song or that sample, that sound effect, I'll just throw that into my music, and I'll just like start. I could make a whole song just from that sample. Like, I could just listen to this and then I'll be like, okay, I know exactly what kind of song this sample needs. This is just a bottle smashing on the ground. Sounds really clean. There's other ones. There's just like a laugh in the background. There's some dirty bass lines. This is a sweep. Obviously, you can get sweeps almost anywhere now on the internet. I like to use certain sweeps in different songs. It has to be either subtle or huge, or risers have to be subtle. Depends on the track, though, obviously. That's Michael Jackson, Thriller. So let's go like this. This is massive. it took me like a while to figure out how to make this sound, but I use dual screens. I used to use them, that's why it's over here. But you can take a listen. I could theoretically just take this. I could plug another. Actually, let me clone this. I like to clone things because when you're using like Massive and all these plugins, and you've got so many. Like right now, I'm on FX 43, so you can imagine how many channels for this song. Like, look at this. I'm using up to almost 60 channels. Every single channel has its own effect. So if I'm using, like, for instance, like a melody, then I'll use that same melody, same effect with all the channels. If I'm using a bass line, I'll use that same effect and same on all the channels, like 43. This is the melody, okay? So this is all 43 effects. If I'm using a bass, it'll be 44, all bass. And then if I'm using like a hi-hat, snare, it'd be all, that would be almost separated too for the beats and stuff like that, because I want to widen them as much as possible for the track. Like, it takes a long time to make a track and master it. That's what it took me time in my life to figure out, because before I'd throw tracks together and they would all be on, like, just one would be on, like, for example, the beats would all be on one track. Now I have beats on like 5 or 6 or 7 different tracks with all different effects on them, so it makes it way more fatter. The everything just comes through more cleaner, rather just throwing like a mastering tool on all of them, like Isotope Ozone. If you just throw that on the master track and don't go through each and every single track with effects on it, it's not going to sound good in your final mix, or people are going to pick up on it, right? So anyways, let's go back to the melody. This is a melody. Okay, and I can go into my Massive. Now I've got thousands of like sounds for Massive, but I'm just gonna do it. This is quick. Okay, I'll check out this lost connection sound. Copy this over. Now, what I would do to give this some variation I would chop it. 3 notes is good. So it'd sound like. And you can hear the subtle differences. But see, I'm not even like, it doesn't even like lift my skirt up right now, so I want to throw it on another track. I'll just throw it on the last track. Okay. Then I would put like, I don't know, maybe a gross beat on it and give it some variation. Now, if you hear that on the main track with the beats, and that basically took me how long? Like 2 minutes to make a melody that sounds like that. Because all these preset sounds that I have, which I'm not giving them away for free. You can ask me all you want, but they're not. You know, I paid for all these, so I'm not going to give them away for free. But these preset sounds that I have, they really like mimic the sound of like Castles in the Sky. I don't know if you guys know that track. Lethal Industry by Tiesto. I mean, there's a whole bunch of them in here. I can just do like an acid sound if I wanted an acid. to me sounds better than a 303. No offense. I mean, I love the TB 303, but when you actually have the good sound in massive, I don't know, it just sounds so like more robotic. I don't know why, but I mean, I would love to have the original TB03. I mean, that would be perfect, but I can just do things so much more quicker on the computer than rather sitting down in equipment and spending like the whole day just doing what I did there in about less than 30 seconds, right? And that's the truth. That is the bottom line. That's the truth. I just don't want to spend that much time sitting there. And when you write or make music or paint or do anything like artistic, the quicker you get it done, I think the better the project is, and the better overall the whole thing is, rather than spending just massive amounts of time just on artwork. I mean, it to me, in my opinion, anyways. Of the whole track. I don't know what it is. That's nothing here. There's some at the beginning here I can show you. So I've got like marching. I took that from a movie. I can't remember what movie. So I got the marching sounds, people marching, just random effects, bottle breaking again. I got some guy's voice about the Syrian war on the news.
Syria has plunged into a full-scale civil war.
I'll like listen to CNN for like 10 minutes and I'll just take some guys talking over the news about, I don't know, anything. And then that's just the beginning of Terminator. This is some spiritual. So, I mean, I do sample a lot, but I know how to make melodies, I can write chords, I can understand everything about that. I mean, I think the best way to write music is to combine both. Like, you put your melodies and beats and everything, just combine everything. It's just basically making a painting. This is like my painting, right? So, okay, I'll play you the build-up. So hopefully this helps someone make a drum and bass beat. The tempo is 85, so it's double time on this, so it's going 170, which is fine. I like to use like lower BPM with drum and bass, because you can really like the sounds and stuff, is rather than using just, okay, I'm gonna make a drum and bass track or a really fast track and just using that, just half time it. It's better, because the computer picks up stuff slower than it does faster. I don't know, that's just what I've heard and what I've been using for drum and bass tracks. So yeah, hopefully this helped you guys. The FLP won't be available for this track, sorry, but I just hope you guys learned something. Maybe start sampling some movies and some whatever. Just sample anything. Just throw it in your song and just make an artwork. Okay, thanks.